Okay.
Order in the court.
Okay, Jefferson County Court, law number 2 is in session. The first case that we have on the announcement docket is cause number M331150. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Jacqueline Sevilla Hill. Ms. Hill is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Hill, you can take your mic off of mute. Ms. Hill, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Good morning.
Good morning. Ms. Hill, you're represented in your case by your attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
And the state is represented by Ms. Haley Simmons. Ms. Simmons, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Mr. Reynolds, what is your announcement?
Since Ms. Hill is present by Zoom and not in the courtroom, Judge, I can't attempt to resolve her case. I'd like for her to be present at the next hearing and ask for a reset.
Okay, give us a reset date. Now, at the last hearing, did you announce a plea or anything?
I asked for another reset, so.
Okay. Okay, give us, now, Ms. Hill, give us a date. 30 days. Yeah.
It's gonna be, other than Friday, a day other than Friday. Monday, Wednesday.
Who? Whose child?
That's the reason why she's saying it today.
Oh, well, need to have it 30 days.
If it's okay, can I get it on the 19th since school will be out?
19 of what month?
Next month will be February. The 19th, school will be out. I think that's the only day they have out of school besides
that's
spring
30
break.
days. Okay, that's 30 days. Okay, this case is gonna be reset till February 19th, 2024. Ms. Hill, you need to be here in person.
Yes, okay.
Okay, your attorneys and your bondsman is gonna get your reset once. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. Next case is cause number 23CCCR0922, case of Styles, Texas versus Darrell George Falcon. Mr. Falcon? Showed him as being here. Okay. Mr. Falcon, your full name is Darrell George Falcon?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Falcon? That's good, Mr. Falcon. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, what is your announcement in Mr. Falcon's case?
Judge, previously when we were here on announcement docket, I asked the court for leave to have him apply to the pretrial program. He has since been rejected from the program.
Okay,
But after review of the reasons for rejections, they have some prior arrests and convictions, which I believe are in error. And I would like additional time to review that with Mr. Canal in the DA's office for him to reconsider him getting into the pretrial.
okay, let's see, February. Okay, the next sign up is in February, but he probably wouldn't be able to get on that list. Because that's only 2 weeks away, so we're gonna April. Let's set it in the second week of April.
Okay.
We'll reset it for second week of April. That's the month that they have pre-trial. So if he gets
By
in,
then, we'll settle it up.
yeah, by then he'll either be in the program, because the sign-up date would be in April, or he would have been rejected again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you get your resets. And Mr. Falcon, once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Sure.
Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go.
Thank you.
Stand over there with your attorney. You have a blessed day. And you're free to go as well. Mr. Reynolds, you have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Okay. Barrazo, you have a case on the docket?
Yes, sir. Teresa Barnett.
That ain't Peter Dahl. Why they have Peter Dahl's name on it?
I'm not sure.
Here's the card.
Could you check to see why Peter Dahl's name is on Barnett's case and not Miss Brazo? Were you hired?
No. I would have to do that. It was an appointment that I received.
Okay, they have Peter
Oh,
Dahl.
he said he was the second to go back.
This was the first notice that I got, but it was, in November. And then we received a notice that it was reset to today. So, I'm not sure.
That was a rescind order.
Hers was rescinded?
I never received that.
Yeah.
It was a rescind order down October third.
When?
October third.
Was that a case like on a review docket? Must have been a jail run review docket, yeah.
Let me see what they used.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the jail run for October 12th,
And it did
and the
apparently,
person probably didn't leave,
and so it was
and
rescinded
so we rescind
and
those.
appointed Peter Dahl.
Oh, okay, so when they're on the jail docket,
And you don't take care of it.
then it gets rescinded
unless
Go
you
back
tell you
onto the
about it.
old, yeah, you go on the
in
rotation.
the wheel, back
Right.
on the wheel. Okay, all right, thank you. for
Okay.
letting me know.
You're welcome. Is that gentleman on here on the case?
I'm sorry.
Gentleman over there is here on the case?
That guy that went to jail, he wasn't on the docket this morning.
Oh, okay.
His name is Christopher Barza.
So he's not on the docket?
He's not on the docket today.
Oh, okay,
He's more a bond officer.
okay,
And I think he's trying to take care of it today.
okay, so they're gonna put it, so you're gonna put it on the docket? So you
We
have
have
to
to
talk to
have
them,
it
okay,
first. Because if they don't take care of it today, he wants to know if you would set a bond up.
it's not an interim fee, so the other guy, the magistrate sets the bond. Yeah, you had a hold, yeah. Let's see, Benjamin Hall. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Next case is cause number M332563. Case is style of state of Texas versus Richard Joseph Moe. This is cause number M332563. Case is style of state of Texas versus Richard Joseph Moe. Mr. Moe, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Moe?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Moe, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall, Attorney Hall. How are you doing?
Doing great, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Mr. Hall, what is your announcement in Mr. Moe's case?
Your Honor, I'm gonna make an appointment next week. Mr. Mo's gonna give me some documentation. I'm gonna make an appointment next week with Ms. Brother and the prosecutors. And we're gonna, discuss, disposition. If you could give us 30 days.
Okay, give us a 30-day reset.
We're really going into April, but you wanna put it in February?
Yes.
We can do the same day.
What is that?
What, the 19th?
Yes. So it's,
He's a CDL.
this case will be reset to February 19, 2024. And, Mr. Moe, your attorney will get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Hall, I think this is your only case.
Yes, Your
You're
Honor.
free to go as well.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
all right, you are. Mr. Paget, are you ready to make those announcements on the cases that's, need to be reset?
Court's pleasure.
Yes, you can come forward. No, not the plea. You have some cases that you need to reset?
One gentleman, that's two cases, who's on your docket.
Oh, is it, okay, Benitez Gomez?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, Joseph Ruben Benitez Gomez, would you please come forward?
We're still waiting to come.
Cases are cause numbers M 329-850 and M 329-852. Mr. Gomez, your full name is Joseph Ruben Benitez Gomez.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Benitez Gomez?
Fine, how about yourself, Your Honor?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Benitez Gomez. You're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Let's see. Mr. Paget, what are your announcements in Mr. Joseph Ruben Benitez Gomez cases?
Your Honor, we are really close to completing discovery, and I was telling the prosecutor, if you could give us 30 days, we'll have an offer and be ready to proceed and move forward.
Okay. Give us a reset date,
February 19th.
February 19th.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, I'll relay that offer to him. We're gonna be meeting when the discovery.
You reach for that, Father, need to give him some bond conditions. Yes,
You should have some because he has an ankle monitor on.
I don't know. Okay.
You currently have an ankle monitor on there.
What was that, what was,
How long have you had that ankle monitor on?
I mean, that wasn't a condition. We didn't give him bond conditions. I don't see any bond conditions in his,
Well, I just wanted to make the court aware that he does have. an-
does he have another case somewhere else?
No,
in another court?
Should you have it?
Give him these conditions too, in addition to that. I guess that must have been something that they released, as a condition of his,
Definitely got it on.
yeah, it must have been a condition of him being released from jail. I guess. Yeah,
Did they give you that condition when you were in jail? Yeah, they put it on, so I can go out.
Okay.
They made it a condition of bond,
yeah,
the
okay,
magistrate.
understand,
I just want to make the court aware.
Yeah.
He's been doing well.
yeah, let me do this here. So they won't get confused. He is a UCW,
Correct, true.
one of his cases.
And I do now have an offer. The prosecutor had an offer written down, so we'll be prepared when we come back.
Okay,
Doesn't have a hospital.
Very good about that.
okay, let me do this, yes.
Okay.
This will be condition number 6.
It was,
Yeah.
So this is a second.
Get your information.
Oh.
Benitez Gomez, yes.
Thank you.
Just resetting. I'm go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, you can reset it.
Benitez, yes, we're just doing blind conditions.
Okay.
Coleman, we're playing Coleman, it's Erica's case. He makes credit for two. We'll be reporting there at 6 p.m. Yeah, we've already turned it in. She's typing it up right now.
Jenny, could you make a copy of this? Let's see. Now, Mr. Benitez, Gomez wanted to give you some bond conditions. You'll be able to get a copy of them once they're made. But the bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2 will state the following the return of a criminal information in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. All bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein or orders subject to the additional condition. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state or any other state. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition?
Yeah, no.
And let's see. Possession. Condition number 3 and 4 does not apply. Condition number 5 and 6 does apply. And condition number 5 states that the defendant is prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition unless the defendant is a peace officer as defined by section 107 of the Texas Penal Code, actively engaged in employment as a full-time paid employee of a state agency or political subdivision. That's condition number 5. And condition number 6, now, do you understand that condition? Now, condition number 6 basically states that you continue to wear that GPS. It says the defendant is prohibited from possession of firearm. At least condition number 5 said the defendant shall wear a global positioning monitoring system. device at the defendant's expense with written verification being submitted to the court within 3 days. And you already have the device on, is that
For a month
correct?
and a half.
Okay, so, I just,
A little more, since it was released from.
yeah, I just transposed those numbers. So 5 is the GPS. You're gonna continue wearing that. And then 6, you prohibit from possessing a firearm ammunition. Do you understand that? Now, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond can be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you'll be arrested and placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that? Now, your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And, you working on your other case?
I just sent.
Yes, ma'am.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
Let's see, that's, the COVID code. Gotta turn this on. The Colvin Coleman. Mr. Coleman, your full name is DeColvin Coleman? Mr. Coleman, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Coleman, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coleman, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Coleman? That's good. Now, Mr. Coleman, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Padgett. Attorney Padgett, do you waive a record in Mr. Coleman's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Coleman, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, the Colvin Coleman, on or about August 4th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest, detention. Mr. Coleman, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Coleman, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes,
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coleman, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document? Okay, let me give it to your attorney. Here you go. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
You're gonna have to hold on to it. Let's go to the next page. On the next page of that same document, there are a set of initials on a line that's titled guilty. Are those your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on the next page of that document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature? And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize that document?
Yes.
And is that your signature at the bottom of that document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of that document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I've just shown you, did your attorney, Mr. Paget, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Paget went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coleman, are you a citizen of the United States? State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
And,
No objections to stage one, Your Honor.
okay. Y'all got the wrong date on here. I think you got, it's the 19th. Okay, no objection, State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Paget, you have advised the counsel, Mr. Coleman, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
And Mr. Coleman, your attorney, Mr. Paget, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coleman, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state's offering 10 days jail, credit for 2, and Mr. Coleman's to report to the jail by 6 p.m. this evening.
Do you have a copy of this affidavit? What the affidavit is? Now, Mr., and what's the court cost?
337.
Mr. Coleman, the state is offering that you serve 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for the 2 days that you've already served. Now, the court cost in this case is $337. Will you be able to pay the $337? Okay, let's see, is there an affidavit in this? Let me see if I. Okay. You don't have to speak. They didn't sign. It. And they said it nothing else to do. Have him to fill that information out. Yes. He needs a pen. Yeah, I'm sure I have one. Going to find that you are indigent based on the finding of indigency. The court costs in this case of $337 will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, Miss Simmons, when is this jail time to start?
Defendants to report this evening by 6 p.m.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Cole, your jail time will begin today at or before 6 p.m. And you will report to the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coleman, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. You're gonna stand in front of our court coordinator, and the bailiff is gonna take your prints. Right there, that's right. And once you finish, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day, and she's gonna get her paperwork that you need to bring to the jail with you. Make sure you have that paperwork. And, okay, and Mr. Paget, I think this is your last case?
Yes, Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, what else we have? You still working on something?
I have one.
Does Mr. Bloomfield have a case? Bloomfield. Yeah, I don't see him on there either.
You didn't want to take the word that was nominated.
I guess we can go ahead and, Ms. Provo, are you ready? Who Van Win?
I'm not ready. I'm not.
Oh,
I didn't say-
you're not ready? Okay, I'll just hold on a minute.
Sorry.
Y'all gotta have a seat. We'll call you back up. They weren't ready. It's gonna be a plea.
Yes, sir. This is what you need to take to the jail. If you don't have everything that you're not, that you.
He's Court is back in session and calls number M 334-048, case of style of state of Texas versus Ku Van Nguyen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Nguyen, on page 2 of this document, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, which is state's exhibit number 1, are these your initials? Did you place your initials on this document? Okay. On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now I'm going back to page number 1 of this document. And on page 1 of this document, there's a paragraph at the bottom that is titled citizenship. Are you a citizen of the United States?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And what country are you from?
Vietnam, Your Honor.
Vietnam. And just for the record, Mr. Nguyen, I have in here a document that was previously signed on May 22nd of 2023, where you informed the court that you do not want us to notify your consular officers at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And actually, Mr. Thong Nguyen also witnessed this document.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, on state's exhibit number 1, below the paragraph that is titled citizenship, it states, you're gonna have to lower his voice. If you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you still want to go forward with your plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I need to get him the initial next to this paragraph saying that it was citizenship. Okay. And these are your initials on state's exhibit number 1. Is that correct? Now,
Yes.
Ms. Provo, pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky, did you advise Mr. Nguyen of the consequences of him pleading guilty or no contest by him not being a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And that was explained to him through the interpreter?
Not through this interpreter.
Oh, there was another interpreter?
Yeah, I think your son. That's who
Okay.
You want me to?
Yeah, could you explain it to him through this interpreter? Okay. So, Ms. Provo, pursuant to the case of Purdue versus Kentucky, you explained the consequences of Mr. When pleading guilty by him not being a citizen of the United States.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Nguyen, I also have another document before me. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain agreement and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
No.
He doesn't understand the statement?
Từ cái bóc cái gì vậy? Là từ không thì từ cái quyền kháng cáo là từ là bỏ cái quyền kháng cáo thì còn yes,
You understand it? Okay. The next document that I have before me is titled Discovery Certification. Now, Mr. Kuvan Nguyen,
Yeah.
is this your signature on this document?
yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kuvan Nguyen, before you sign all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did Mr. Thong Nguyen go over these documents with you in Vietnamese?
Yeah.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Thong Nguyen, the interpreter, went over?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Judge. No
Any
objection.
objections? No objections, Ms. Provost? State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Ms. Provost,
Yes, Judge.
you have advised and counseled Mr. Nguyen. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nguyen, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, I will find, well, first of all, Mr. Nguyen, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mr. Nguyen, do you understand the state's? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, state, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Judge.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state is offering 180 days over 18 months, probated for 18 months,
18
$1,000
months.
fine, 80 hours community service, court costs, and we're gonna plead to DWI first. He'll have to have an interlock on any vehicle he owns. That's it. And he'll take DWI education.
What's his court cost?
I don't have a car now.
Okay, well, just tell him we'll get to that Two. No. Ms. Provo, were you appointed?
Yeah.
Okay. Six. Mr. Nguyen. The state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any time in jail because you'll be placed on probation for 18 months. You will also be required to pay a fine of $1,000, a DPS fine of $100. You will also be required to pay court costs of $392. You will be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of hold on a minute. I think I did that wrong. Hold on a minute. Okay. 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 Now, Mr. Nguyen, let me repeat this. Jefferson County District Attorney's Office offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not be required to serve any time in jail because you'll be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000. You will also be required to pay a DPS fine of $100. You'll be required to pay court costs of $392. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, and you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you'll be required to pay each month, is $183 a month. will you be able to pay the $183 each month?
I don't have money, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, the pay will be $100.
Hold on, let me, do this. That's just court costs. Trina, I mean, not Trina, Glenda,
Yes. Sir.
you write that article down where we waive the attorney's fees. Was it 2.2605? Okay. 26. Okay. G dash 2605. Okay, so that's waive. Okay, so let's see what we get. That's 100. Plus 450. Well, let me see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Nguyen, um, the, the attorney's fees in this case is gonna be waived pursuant to article, let me see, we got his affidavit of indigence and file. Hold on a minute. His affidavit of indigence and wind file, Coolvan Win. 334048. Might be able to print it from here.
I'm putting, it just takes a while.
Yeah.
One click away.
Okay, Ms. Provo, could you show this document to your client? Mr. Nguyen, do you recognize that document? Is that his signature on page 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Nguyen, go back to page 1. Is everything on that document still true and correct today?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Mr. Nguyen, the court is going to find that you're indigent. Based on the finding of indigency, the attorney's fees in this case is going to be waived pursuant to Article 26.05 G-1(1). You'll be required to pay a DPS fine of $100. The fine of $1,000 plus the court cost of $392 will be converted to 111 hours of community service. You'll be required to pay the statutory minimum probation fee of $25 a month. You'll also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, and you will pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments will be $49 a month. Will you be able to pay the $49 a month?
That's total, Your Honor.
Each month, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you will also be required to pay a DWI initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. You'll be required to perform 80 hours of community service. This 80 hours of community service will be in addition to the 111 hours of community service. So you'll be required to perform a total of 191 hours of community service. You will also be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will be required to attend and complete a DWI education class. You'll be required to have an alcohol assessment. And you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of your probation. Mr. Nguyen, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
Mr. Nguyen, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Nguyen, you're gonna stand, just have a seat. Just have a seat, and then when the clerk is, the court coordinator is ready for you, she's gonna ask you to come up before her window to sign some paperwork.
May I ask the course of the total payment, monthly payment? How much?
$49 a month.
Only $49.
$49 a month.
Thank you.
All right. Just have a seat. Thank you. Yes,
He doesn't own cars.
I said any car that he owns or operates.
Okay, no, ain't.
That's up to the probation department. They can, make that as a condition. That wasn't part of the plea bargain. Oh. Okay. Next case is cause number 23CC 1790, case is style of state of Texas versus Isaac Angel Rodas. Isaac Angel Rodas was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., Isaac Angel Rodas' name was called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Isaac Angel Rodas did not answer. He has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 10:38 or 10:37 a.m. on today's date of January 19th of 2024. Ms. Bailiff, would you please go to the door and call the name of Isaac Angel Rodas? Would you please call the name? Yes. State. Okay.
No response, Ron.
Okay. Isaac Angel Rodas' name was just called again at the courthouse door. Isaac Angel Rodas did not answer. A reasonable time has been given for Mr. Isaac Angel Rodas to appear in court. Has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, our statement is withdrawn.
That motion will be granted. Isaac Angel Rodas' bond will be forfeited and warrant shall be issued for his arrest in clause number 23CC 1790. Mr. Cole, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
The one, surrender, that's probably why.
Oh, okay, somebody did the affidavit to surrender?
Surrender back, November. They, did surrender. No, approach.
Yes. Hold on a minute. You hear on Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clippard? Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clippard.
Thank you so much.
They still, he need to, you got the, he's been printed,
No, you know.
so he's not ready to go, yeah.
No, what I'm present.
This is cause number M328914. Case of style of state of Texas versus Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clippard. Ms. Clippard, Ms. Hunter Clippard, is that your full name?
Yeah.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may put your hand down. How you doing, Ms. Hunter Clifford? You doing all right? That's good. Ms. Hunter Clifford, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Marcus Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you for asking.
Mr. Wilkerson, do you waive a record in Ms. Hunter Clifford's case?
We do, Judge.
Ms. Hunter Clifford, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, on or about December 21st of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Ms. Hunter Clifford, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Ms. Hunter Clifford, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to contest or fight the charges? Ms. Hunter Clifford, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? Yes. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere. Did you place your initials on this document? Yes. And nolo contendere means no contest. On the third page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? Yes. On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? Yes, sir. And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant? Yes. At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Yes. I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? Yes. And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Ms. Hunter Clifford, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Hunter Clifford, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Court will also take judicial notice of the court's file. Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled Ms. Hunter Clifford. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Hunter Clifford, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Ms. Hunter Clifford, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial and will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of no contest, the state's offering 90 days probated over 1 year, $500 fine, 80 hours community service plus court costs.
Okay. What is the court cost in this case?
52.
1767. Okay, Ms. Hunter Clipper, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500. You'll also be required to pay court costs of $352. You will be required to pay a probation fee. Now, let me ask you before we do it. Are you appointed in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Hunter Clipper. The state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you not be required to serve any time in Jefferson County Jail, or in this case, because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $352. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a year announcement fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. This will come to a total that you'll be required to pay each month of $183 a month. Are you able to pay the $183 each month? You are. Now, you'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Hunter Clipper, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. Hunter Clipper, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Is his claim. So Ms. Hunter Clipper, just have a seat, and when the court coordinator is ready for you, you're gonna come up to her window to fill out the paperwork. Once you fill out the paperwork, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me see, hold on a minute.
Yeah, I have to go in, I'll have to go in once a month.
Next case is cause number M329198, case of style of state of Texas versus Alexa Rainey. This is cause number M329198. The case is style the state of Texas versus Alexa Rainey. Ms. Rainey, is that your full name? Ms. Rainey, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Rainey, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Rainey, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Rainey? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Rainey. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Marcus Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Wilkerson, do you waive a record in Ms. Rainey's case?
Yes, Judge.
And Ms. Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Ms. Rainey, I have before me a document that is titled,
Your Honor.
no, okay,
Your Honor,
okay, reset. Now, Ms. Rainey, now, Mr. Wilkerson, actually, what is your announcement in Ms. Rainey's case?
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement with the state. We're asking for a 30-day reset.
There's a 30-day reset. Is that February 19th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this case will be reset to February 19th, 2024. Ms. Rainey, your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Wilkerson, this is your last case, so you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Judge, I want to mention to the court before we go with that 19th date that I currently have a temporary orders hearing scheduled to begin at 8:30.
Can we do it the next week?
Okay.
Okay, he's checking this.
The following Monday, yes, Your Honor. I have
What date is that? The following,
it's the 26th.
26th? Okay,
Okay.
okay. Ms. Rainey, your case will be reset to February 26th, 2024. Your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you're free to go as well, Mr. Wilkerson. You have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, Judge. See you soon.
Elijah Deshaun Mitchell Ray. All of these, okay, these are dismissals.
Your Honor.
Both of these are.
Mr. Ray, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ray, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ray, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Ray? Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Ray, you're represented in your cases by your attorney Mark Faggart. Attorney Faggart, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Faggart, what is, now,
These cases are both going to be dismissed, Your Honor. One is going to be dismissed because he got placed on probation. And the other one is going to be dismissed for forfeiture of the weapon.
Pretty cool.
what, okay.
Oh. Okay.
I apologize, Your Honor. We'll do
Okay,
that.
that's fine. Mr. Ray, in cause number 23CC Sierra 0920, I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon in that case. Mr. Ray, do you recognize this motion to forfeit? And is this your signature on the line that's tied to defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ray, before you signed this motion, did your attorney, Mr. Fagger, go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? And do you want the court to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
You can scratch through police department. And so you already got Jefferson County Sheriff Department. Jefferson County Sheriff, yeah. Okay. Now, Mr. Ray, the court is going to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. State, do you have an additional motion?
No, Your Honor, at this time, the state will be dismissing with forfeiture, due to the felony plea he took prior, and will be dismissing the companion case as well.
Okay, now, Mr. Ray, the state is dismissing this case cause number 23 CC Ciara 0920. And the state will be dismissing the companion case, cause number 23 CC Ciara 0930. First case is being dismissed for forfeiture of the weapon. Second case is being dismissed because you pled to a felony case. And I'm signing the dismissals. You'll be able to get a copy of the dismissal in a few minutes from your attorney. Mr. Ray, you and your attorney stand over there in front of the clerk, get a copy of the dismissal. Once you get a copy of the dismissal, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
The handwriting on that last one was a little, I was trying to write small on that last one.
Oh.
I apologize.
Oh,
Couldn't fit it all in there. Marks.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court's in session in cause numbers 23CC Ciara 0288 and cause number 23CC Ciara 0670. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Simone Monique McDonald. Ms. McDonald, is that your full name? Ms. McDonald, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. McDonald, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Ms. McDonald, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. McDonald? That's good. Ms. McDonald, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Mark Faggart. Attorney Faggart, do you waive a record in Ms. McDonald's cases?
We waived the record in both cases, Your Honor.
Ms. McDonald, in cause number 23CC Ciara 0288, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Ms. McDonald, it alleges that you, Simone Monique McDonald, on or about February 27th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Ms. McDonald, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Ms. McDonald, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest? Now, Ms. McDonald, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. McDonald, also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Ms. McDonald, do you recognize this document? Okay, I'm gonna hand this to your attorney. You can just hold on to that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. McDonald, do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box that's checked nola contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on that document?
Yes.
On the next page of that same document, there's a signature above the top, at the top of the document, above the line that is titled Defendant, is that your signature?
Yes.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize that document?
Yes.
And is that your signature at the bottom of that document above the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes.
At the top of that same document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Now, the document that that Ms. Simmons has is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize that document? And is that your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ms. McDonald, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the document? Did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Ms. McDonald, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State. I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Faggart?
None.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted into evidence, and the court will also take judicial notice of the court's file. Mr. Faggart, you advised and counsel Ms. McDonald, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor, though she does have a history of mental illness that she's currently on her medication. In my opinion, she's fully competent to stand, to sign the documents and stand trial today.
Okay, Ms. McDonald, your attorney, Mr. Faggett, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Ms. McDonald, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of no contest, the state's offering 5 days time served and to tax and retire court cost.
Ms. McDonald, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you've already served 5 days in jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. And the court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Ms. McDonald, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. McDonald, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. McDonald, we move on to your next case. Your next case is cause number 23CCCR0670. And in this case, I have before me an information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, Ms. McDonald, the state alleges that you, Simone Monique McDonald, on or about March 22nd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Ms. McDonald, do you understand what you've been charged with in this case?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. McDonald, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Now, Ms. McDonald, your attorney is showing you a document that is titled State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Are those your initials?
Yes.
On page 3 of that same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature? On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize that document? And is that your signature at the bottom of that document above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of that document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Simmons is handing you a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
There's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ms. McDonald, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that you were just shown, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Faggett, you've advised and counseled Ms. McDonald in this case. Is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor. She, well, as I said before in the other case, she does have some mental health issues, which she is taken care of now. She's fully competent, in my opinion, to understand what she's doing today.
And her mental health issues does not rise to the level of incompetency, is that correct?
No, that's not at this time, no.
Okay. Now, Ms. McDonald, your attorney has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes.
Ms. McDonald, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt state. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of no contest, the state's offering 5 days time served and 2 tax and return of court costs.
Ms. McDonald, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case, you will not be required to pay it because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Ms. McDonald, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Ms. McDonald, I follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. McDonald, this will conclude your cases. You need her to have a seat.
No.
Oh, you stand in front of the court coordinator, follow her directions. Once you finish following the directions of the court coordinator and the bailiff, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Faggett, these are your last 2 cases. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day as well. All right, thank you.
And I did think about that.
We take care of those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got it. That's a long haul coming from the valley.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session in cause number M331146, case of South State of Texas versus Christopher John Garza. Mr. Garza, would you please come forward?
Your Honor, Dan Moore for Mr. Garza.
Okay. Mr. Garza, your full name is Christopher John Garza?
Chris John Carson.
Christopher is just Chris?
Yes, sir.
You also, well, and his name is Christopher, is also known as Chris John Garza. Okay, Mr. Garza, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Garza, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Garza, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Garza?
Pretty good.
That's good. Mr. Garza, you're represented in your case by Attorney Dan Mora. Attorney Mora, how are you doing?
Good, Judge.
Mr. Mora, do you waive a record in Mr. Garza's case?
Yes, sir, we do.
Mr. Garza, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Christopher John Garza, on or about September 26th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Mr. Garza, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Garza, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest? Okay, he needs to, he signed, okay. Are you pleading guilty? Okay, now, Mr. Garza, on page 3, now, Mr. Garza, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Garza, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
On the next document that is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garza, before you signed any of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Garza, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, sir.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Moore, you advised in counsel to Mr. Garza. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir, I do find incompetent.
I am Mr. Garza, your attorney. Mr. Moore has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garza, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, state's offering 6 months deferred, $300 fine, 24 hours community service with a theft class.
What's the court cost in this case? Mr. Garza, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300. You'll also be required to pay you will be required to pay court costs of $337. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, and you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $220 a month. Are you able to pay the $220 a month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 24 hours of community service. And you'll be required to install, and you'll be required to attend a deaf class, as well as adhering to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Garza, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Garza, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. And Mr. Garza, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Moore, about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Garza, you're going to stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of our coordinator. Once you finish following her directions, now it was a warrant out of this court or bond forfeiture. It goes away, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Took care of these cases.
yeah, so since this case is being disposed of, the warrant for the bond forfeiture is gonna be actually recalled. You still have a bond forfeiture, that's a civil matter.
Right.
You're gonna be they should be contacting you, your bondsman, and your bondsman regarding that, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. She's gonna take the handcuffs off you. And then once that's done, you can go to the window of the of the coordinator. They're going to, with a sign of judgment, get your prints, and you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And that will conclude the docket, announce the docket, and call in County Court at Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding on today's date of January 19, 2024. Everyone, please have a blessed day and you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
TGIF.